Radio check. You hear me okay?
Copy, radio check.
Was I muted all that time? Don't tell me I was muted. Hopefully the water tasted well. Was I really muted? How can I be so bad at streaming? How is it possible for one man to be this bad at streaming? Muted. Disaster. By the way, what time does qualifying start, UK-wise? Because I may as well schedule that up. Bear with me. How do I do this? Schedule. I haven't even got the timer up as well. I'm an absolute mess. It's a disaster, frankly. Amateur hour over here. Hang on. Make sure I've got the right picture. There we go. 8 PM. That's early, isn't it? Is it 8 PM for sure? So this is going to go till 5:30, 6:30. Okay. Is it definitely 8 PM, chat? UK time? Because I need to schedule my thing. Chat, let me know. Can we confirm Craig saying what time qualifying is starting? We're just waiting for FP at the moment. FP3. Just let me know, chat. If anyone can confirm qualifying start time in the UK. 9 PM. Oh, it's changing already. Anyone confirm? Now we've got 2 different times from Craig. I'll do it. I'll do it. Pete's got it. That's GMT there. What about BST, my friend? (9 PM) BST. Autosport is saying. 4 PM local, 9 PM BST. Okay, so we will go live for that at 8:30. We'll go live. All right, I'll put that up now. Why not? We got it. All good. Do we want to build up from 8 or build up from 8:30? What do we want to do, chat? Drunk Pirate is in there. Rock and Cooper. Do we want to build up from 8? Or 8:30 or 8:15? Is 8 a bit early for the build-up? Because the build-ups... Nah, we're going to go 8:30. We'll go 8:30. We'll go 8:30. Bonk. That is in there. Let me get a timer ready so we can get FP timer stuff. I should bookmark all this stuff really that I'm doing. This is just going to be your regular 60-minute session. None of that other nonsense that we had. So, get this, 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 and this. It's going to be a 1-hour countdown. And it's going to be FP3. Let's just test it now, shall we? See if it's working. Oh, we dropped a lot of frames somewhere. We're dropping all those frames. Ooh. There we go. We'll get that. We'll get that there when we start. So I'll turn it off now. Look at us. Quasi-professional. Now we are dropping a lot of frames, which does worry me. Hang on. Bear with me. Welcome M1M. So we're getting ready. I shouldn't really do my prep live, but it's all part of the magic, isn't it? What am I doing? Network connections. Why is the network struggling? Hopefully that improves it. I'll just drop the quality down a little bit. Welcome Atmospheric 7 as well. Welcome Kate. Let me know if everything's good on the stream front. So I think we were just losing, dropping some frames there. Drivers are getting ready, by the way, to come in of the car. It looks like it's going to be... Are they going to go out on Inters to start and then go out on to dry tyres? I don't know if anyone's got a weather forecast today, what we expect. That seems to have stabilised the internet, by the way. So maybe we were just running a little bit fine, a little marginal on the internet capabilities, the very limited internet capabilities that we have here in the studio. Maybe one day we'll be doing this like pro. Maybe one day we'll rent a studio for these things. What do we think? Should we do that? If we go through a few races where we don't get taken down, maybe I should rent a studio and then we do it like absolutely proper. Let me know. By the way, it's so hot today. I'm absolutely George Russelling it here. One very sweaty boy. Sorry if I missed anyone else in the chat, by the way. I don't think I did. The helicopter's flying. Oh my word! There's big clouds around again. It's definitely water on the track, I think. And there's big clouds again. Is it something about half an hour? No, we're going in about 4 minutes, my friend. If I've got the timings right. If we've got the timers right. Okay, someone's put the shocked face in. I don't have access to the emoji reactions. Someone's putting love hearts. I can't respond. I don't have it. They've taken it away from me. I abused it. How many people in chat have access to that emoji thing? I don't know why I don't have it. Kind of sucks. By the way, we saw some shenanigans yesterday with the intermediate tyres. Still not sure what that was about. Some people saying that, oh, it's to get extra sets of tyres in the race. It seems like a little bit of an exploit to me. Potentially exploitable. Oh, atmosphere. I like that emoji. Look at that. Green flag. Oh, I should have got a green flag and a yellow one. I think TG's got all of them. Or maybe I'll ask TG. We can get green, we can get yellow, we can get red. For our little KCR guy. Kate just said, stop. Stop. Halt. Stop what you are doing. Lots of rain max out, by the way, in the grandstands at Canada. So it's either been raining or they're expecting rain. But I believe rain in the air at Quebec. Canadians having lots of fun. Canadians know how to party. Who's more fun, by the way? I know we've only got 32 at the watching at the moment, so I think I can ask it. It's not going to blow up. So I think we're in a safe space here. Who's more fun, Canadians or Americans? By the way, it's raining on track, and it is flooded somewhere. Wow. It's... There's standing water. I don't know if that's at the hairpin again. Might be... No, the hairpin has more runoff, doesn't it? But there's standing water on the track. Massive puddles. Whoa! Why am I only seeing this now? There are big puddles on the track. Red, isn't it purple? We need to get purple for fastest lap. But we need a red one for red flag. We need a yellow one for yellow flag. And we need a blue one for blue flag. And a checkered one. I'll ask TG. Is FP3 going ahead? Well, Lewis Hamilton's not in his car, but Charles Leclerc was getting in his one, so I presume so. Snowline says most Canadians are boring, not me. Okay, that's a vote for Americans. Remember, Max Verstappen's in the car. The question is, who's more fun, Canadians or Americans? What about French Canadians? Are they separate? Carlos Sainz is in his Ferrari. It's hotting up, by the way, the battle for second place in Constructors. Mercedes are about 18 points ahead of Aston Martin, who are 34 points ahead of Ferrari. By the way, I think this is with Fernando Alonso, and he's got the wet tyres on. So wet tyres for Fernando Alonso at the moment. It looks like wet conditions. Big tread on those tyres. Big tread. So we should be very close to the start, right? Should I get my timer ready? Let me get a timer ready. Because it is past now. I don't know if anyone knows if they're going to delay it because they think it's too wet. I don't think they have the luxury, do they? They've just got to go out and these are the conditions. Looks like they're putting tyres on the Ferrari now. And almost, I can't see what they are because they're covered, but they're almost certainly going to be wet tyres here for Charles Leclerc. I would imagine. Some celebrities in the garage that I don't recognise for Ferrari there. I'm sure having a good time, having a great time. Good to see. Snowline, Peter Green, my friend, it's a sad day for me, but I'm very happy that it's race Saturday today so I can distract myself. Formula 1, very good distraction. Lots of activity usually on the track. I'm going to start the timer. I presume we've started. I'm just going to... Oh, what? Hang on. Yes, we have started, by the way. We have started. Cars are out on track. You can see there, wet tyres for Hulkenberg and Magnussen for the two Hasses. Hulkenberg's car blew up yesterday. In what looked to be a very unusual fire, like a sort of electrical fire or something. Very weird. So time-wise, I mean, we're not going to get close to the 1 minute 13s we were seeing yesterday, but who's going to look good in the wet? Who's going to be struggling? We'll find out. We will see. Yeah, it's very, very, very wet on track. So if this is going to be the conditions for qualifying, could be a real mixed bag, especially if the track is sort of drying through qualifying. That track position effectively of being the last car as they go into the hairpin, it is very wet at the hairpin. Wow. Just deposited a lot of water there clearly. There's puddles running all around the curb. So we'll see probably a dry line maybe emerging in this session. But I would not be surprised to see someone hit the barrier here, I've got to be honest. There'll be some drivers that are more comfortable than others in these conditions. Why is this fan just blowing hot air into my face? Ugh. Maybe if we go an angle, go like that. George Russell's out on the wet tyres as well, as you can see. Fernando Alonso we saw early on the wet tyres. And on board now with Kevin Magnussen, who, yeah, it's very wet. So, Kevin Magnussen confirming that it is extreme wet conditions. Now, here's a little bit of trivia for the chat. Be impressed if... Oh, big twitch for Kevin Magnussen. Almost twitches it into the wall. Bit of trivia for the chat community here. When was the last race to start without a safety car on extreme wet tyres? Does anyone know? Anyone know the last race to start on the extreme wets and not be under safety car? F1 trivia question. Snowline, have you joined Kireth's Discord? I did yesterday. It looks like a really great community. It is a really great community. It's genuinely the best Discord community you can get. We're very lucky. It is so wet on the exit of the hairpin. It's almost a joke. There'll be drivers binning it there as they get down the power, I'm sure. Don't think you're going to see any aquaplaning going down the straight itself, but on sort of the exit of the hairpin as you get onto the straight, it's very wet. ACPW says, oh my word, Magnussen going around the last corner of the chicane, just squirreling around. It's going to be a real test of driver skill, this, I think. Some drivers will be relishing it, others maybe less so. Who's going to come out as an absolute don in the wet? On board with George Russell now here. So you see that Kevin Magnussen doing a 134.7, so that is literally 20 seconds slower than we were seeing yesterday. So obviously nowhere near a cutoff. Davina says, don't know, guess Germany 97? I actually don't know the answer, by the way. That's not... I know that's not normally how quizzes are run. In quizzes, normally the quiz master knows the answer, but I don't. I just thought it was an interesting question. Wow, George Russell just going into the spray. He's definitely not sweating this time. It is actually genuine rain and spray on his visor from the outside. The spray here is insane. My word. They might actually think this is unsafe. Again, it's down at that hairpin area where we saw the weather come from yesterday. But there might be some drivers saying this is too unsafe because there is so much spray coming off the back of the car you cannot see the car ahead of you. Potentially quite dangerous, especially in conditions where we've seen an FP where drivers are pulling over on the back straight to sort of let other faster cars through. That's going to be super dangerous here. Super dangerous. Davina says funny. Just riding on board here with, I think, Alex Albon, who is going down the back straight. What are we going to see here? Coming into the last corner, opens it up. turns and nothing happens. You can literally see him turning the wheel and nothing happens. So he just goes straight over the chicane. He looks down at the wheel like, am I actually turning it? Yeah, I'm turning it, but nothing's happening. So big commitment from Alex Albon. On board now with Fernando Alonso, who's coming into that hairpin. He turns and actually does a decent job, but I don't think he's too happy of a car ahead of him. In fact, Fernando said, who is the blind guy in the AlphaTauri? And the team saying that's Yuki Tsunoda. So Fernando Alonso saying, who's the blind guy in the AlphaTauri? So AlphaTauri, but Oscar Piastri going sideways. There's a lot of drifting. I'm telling you, someone's going to hit the barrier here. We saw, my word, the spray. Jesus. See, this is crazy. When I drive karts in the wet, you don't get spray like this. Oscar Piastri again drifting it. We saw some great drifts yesterday. So a car's in the pits here. Surely they're not going on to intermediate. My word. There's an Aston Martin going on to intermediate tyres. Who is that? Is that Fernando Alonso going on to Inters? That's a ballsy move, that one, I have to say. Because it looks like extreme wets in lots of the track. Welcome, Marcio. Sorry to that, Snow Lion. Hopefully good distraction today. ACPW saying Ocon's smashing it. Yes, Ocon with the 31. This is the thing about Formula 1. It's just absolutely relentless. It might be more comfortable on the wets, but if the intermediates are faster... So Ocon having a pretty good season so far, I would say, for Esteban. The ex-Mercedes Academy driver, actually. He could have been in that car ahead of George Russell if things had panned out differently. Really basic helmet, though, from Ocon. He also had a car mechanical failure yesterday in FP2, the longest FP2 in history. And... they've got on the radio talking saying more rain expected in 9 minutes. Very precise, obviously, in Formula 1. Who are you liking for top 3 today? Let us know in the chat who you're fancying. But I think for quali, it's really going to depend on conditions. Because if it's going to rain all the way through to quali... yeah, Yuki Tsunoda spinning on the approach, I believe... oh no, coming out, going into the first chicane. Oh! It's where Gasly had the drift yesterday. The ex-AlphaTauri driver, or Toro Rosso as it was back then, I can't remember. Yeah, big drift and complete spin by Yuki Tsunoda. He's very lucky and/or skilled to keep out the barrier. He basically YOLOs, no-scopes it, 360. Snow saying Hamilton will do well today. Fernando Alonso is on the intermediate tyres. Keep an eye on Alonso's time, by the way, because he is on the inters. And you can see he has set the fastest Sector 1 by quite some way. Quite some way. Nico Hulkenberg goes fastest now. But how is Alonso going to do in the last sector? Because the last sector is where it gets absolutely horrendous. But Alonso's not messing... oh, big drift from Alonso. Alonso's not messing around. He fancies it. He really fancies it. We'll have a look. Not a good sector 2 from Alonso there at all, is it? Oh, in fact, I'm having a look now. He had to basically cut a chicane. Is that done for Alonso? I think it's done a 34.5, so it hasn't really worked out. Tsunoda's managed to go... was that with the YOLO 360? He's gone first, no. But Tsunoda's obviously looking confident, just spinning the car casually. And now going provisional P1 and FP3. Not sure about this experiment for... Fernando on the intermediate tyres, to be honest. Just looks to get 2, maybe sector 1 might be the sector for them, but not the next 2. See, Max Verstappen's slotted into P3. He's on the fastest sector 3 of the race. Max Verstappen is on the wet weather tyre. I don't believe anyone else... oh no, sorry, there are a few other drivers on the inters, my bad. Alonso, Lance Stroll, Nick De Vries, Valtteri Bottas, Guan Yu Zhou, and Leclerc and Sainz are on the inters. So we saw Carlos Sainz's car being equipped with wets in the garage, but they've decided to go to intermediate. So already there's a difference in... oh, big drift from Max Verstappen. Difference in their opinion on the tyres. Ocon, I think, again has gone fastest. Working crispy. Snowline saying Alonso's a beast. Peter's gone Max, Alonso, Norris. Kate's gone Max, Hamilton, Alonso. I think Alonso, Hamilton, Verstappen, Norris, very well regarded drivers in wet weather conditions. So we will see. We will see. But I'm keeping a keen eye on who's struggling as Ocon goes all over the chicane, the curbs at the Wall of Champions there. And they were told rain in 9 minutes a few minutes ago. The spray is absolutely crazy. You cannot see the cars coming at you. Carlos Sainz, by the way, did that lap time on intermediate tyres. So I believe Carlos Sainz is the fastest intermediate driver. So we're probably on the cutoff as Alonso locks up. Whoa, going into the last corner on the intermediate. So that's where we saw Alex Albon on the wet tyres turn and nothing happened. Alonso the same thing. He turned, nothing happened, and just went straight on into the final corner. And his mechanics have a little bit of a laugh. Verstappen provisional pole. We're going to see that chopping and changing at the front as the track gets drier or the cars create a dry line. But there might be more rain coming. Having another look here at Alonso coming into the last corner. I'm going to see, is he turning the wheel? He turns the wheel and nothing happens. So he bails out of it and goes straight. ACPW saying Max 1 second faster than everyone. He was. Leclerc has matched him. Leclerc on the intermediates. Max Verstappen is on the wet. So looks like the wet weather drivers are sort of coming to the fore. It's very chopping and changing. Would we be at a crossover period in the race? It would depend on your strategy and what you're expecting earlier. There's a lot of cars here close together. There's an Alpine and a Mercedes and a Red Bull. It's almost impossible for them to see each other. Not sure when the cutoff from wets to intermediates definitely happens. I.e. at wet speed, you know, like, okay, we definitely should be on intermediates now. But might still be a little bit different throughout the lap, you know, because the last sector is just so wet. Even a struggle on the wet weather tyres. Verstappen with the Bottas, sorry, with the 28.9. Let me take a look. Valtteri Bottas on the intermediate tyres. Okay. So right now, it doesn't seem to matter too much whether you're on the intermediates or the wet weather tyres, to be honest. Seems to be pretty even. On board here with Lance Stroll, who they put on the intermediates. I'm just amazed no one's binned it yet. Obviously, Yuki Tsunoda got a little bit lucky. Verstappen hasn't broken the lead any practice. He's been in the lead. But he didn't finish in the lead of 1 and 2. I think FP2, the Mercedes finished quite strong, if I remember. So the Mercedes might be feeling pretty good about themselves. It's good news if you're a Mercedes fan. But yeah, Valtteri Bottas with a big lap there. Good news for us. But here comes Alonso. Wow. Oh, Stroll as well did the same thing as Alonso. Had to cut the last corner completely, missed the chicane. But as I say that, Alonso goes 27.5 on the intermediates. So brave call by Aston to go on the inters, but it seems to be working for them. Lance Stroll though with a dicey moment in the last corner. You remember that last corner, you're decelerating from such a fast speed. Very difficult to judge. Yeah, Alonso with the 27.5. Is Alonso now reaching a time that will not be matched by anyone on the wet tyres? Dimitram's got a crazy prediction. 1 Merc will DNF. Dimitram's calling it. If you get that right, you need to go out and buy a lottery ticket. Yeah, Alonso, by the way, went 1.5 seconds quicker than Valtteri Bottas. So Alonso is getting a lot of really good track information here of how to drive quickly on the intermediate tyres. Could come very useful for qualifying and practice. I'm looking on board with an AlphaTauri here. Yuki Tsunoda again. Oh, he's spun again. I tell you what, Yuki Tsunoda might be having... Anyone remember Felipe Massa in Turkey? Or was it Bottas Day? I can't remember. But Yuki Tsunoda's had 2 spins already. Someone in chat called it yesterday. This is Yuki's going to spin this weekend. But he's just having one of those weekends. Carlos Sainz 27.2. Davina, yesterday you thought Alonso was mad to go out in the rain with just a minute spare, but maybe he was trying to find out how his new flaw in his car. Very, very, very good point, Davina James. Very good point. I was saying, what's the point in going out now? But given that it's wet conditions, they will have got a little bit of data, may be able to make some tweaks, and maybe just stay one step ahead of their competition as they go through the weekend, including into the race. We will see. By the way, pretty much the whole field is now on intermediate tyres. Only Gasly and Ocon remain on wets. Trying to see what's going on in the pit lane. There's obviously a lot of activity in the pit lane because drivers who were on wets are going on to intermediate tyres. Are we sure that's not Nikita Mazepin on track? No, it's Yuki Tsunoda, I think. Just channeling his inner Nikita Mazepin. Right, so we're in intermediate conditions now. Obviously, we're well off dry tyre times. Anyone want to take a punt at what the crossover would be? I think if you start going sub 1 minute 20, then you're probably thinking about dry tyres, but I can't imagine we're going to be anywhere near that soon unless they're going to hoover up the water on track here, literally. 42 minutes to go, though. Could be possible. Charles Leclerc, as I say that, does a 1 minute 26.7. I think the cutoff, I think once you go 1 minute, sub 1 minute 20... Oh, big moment from Leclerc as he was setting that lap. Mazepin Tribute Act, exactly. The Mazepins. Give me some names in chat for Mazepin Tribute Acts. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I'm gone, I'm spent. And also, by the way, if you're enjoying the stream, smash that like button right now. We'll get up to 50 likes. We can do 50 likes, everyone, if we smash it. This is not some boring corporation. It's just me and you. We can do it. We can smash it. Mazepin. Mazepin's not... What about Oh, is that a Mazepin like Maneskin? You need to do the Maneskin like symbol on it. Can anyone do that in chat? Then we can close this one off. We can say we completed it. Yuki Spinoda. Who's that meant to be? Is that the Linkin Park guy? On board here with Pierre Gasly, who hurtling into the hairpin, very wet, turns in, nothing happens, goes too deep, just braked too late. Didn't quite work out for him. Oh, well, bursting now. He's actually locked up. Interesting, he was on the wet weather tyre and he locked up going in. So the intermediate tyres have just been so good in Formula 1, haven't they? The intermediate tyres kind of have made the wets a little bit redundant. They're that good. On board again with Alex Albon going into the last corner. Oh, almost runs into the back of a Ferrari, I believe. As always, just dangerous on the Ferrari all the time. He just stopped it in the middle of the chicane. Copy that, that's science. Alex Albon not happy with Carlos Sainz there. Having a little bit of a barb. Hulkenberg, fastest time. Yes, indeed. Hulkenberg with the 26.4. And Tsunoda is really having a day of it. He's at 126.7 now. So we're in the 26s. Are we going to get in the 25s? Are we going to go sub 1 minute 20s here in FP3? This is actually a critical session because it looks like it's going to be a very mixed weather qualifying. Yeah, full wets are basically just processional at this point, aren't they? Good to see some actual driving on the wet weather tyre. Exclusive. Don't normally see that. Charles Leclerc with a 125.7. See just how much faster the cars are getting every lap. I don't think we're anywhere near dry weather tyres right now, but the lap times are coming down. Let me know in the chat what you think the cutoff is going to be, by the way, if you have any ideas. Red Bull's looking decently strong as well, by the way. Perez and Verstappen consistently up there. Lewis Hamilton is not a dry... Lewis Hamilton is still on the wet weather tyre, by the way, apparently. So I don't know what's going on with Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. But it seems to be unusual. Maybe some funny business. Leclerc and Sainz 1 and 2, so Ferrari looking good. I think that's Leclerc going wide in corner 1. Yes, Snowline saying Ferrari looking good today. So far, yes. Yesterday seemed to be Mercedes day. Mercedes. And right now, Ferrari are looking good. But what is going on with Mercedes? And what is going on with Alpine? But bear in mind, the track is getting so much quicker. Wouldn't necessarily read too much into it because the track might have increased by a few seconds since the last time those guys were out. We'll have to see if the rate of pace increase continues to go at this level. Are we going to see a 1 minute 24? Will be difficult. See that on the map, Hamilton is out on track. There's so much spray around, and Sky have gone to an advert. What? What's this about? Don't worry, we can chill here. Maybe we get more viewers when Sky goes to an advert. Go to more adverts, Sky. Verstappen with the fastest sector 1 there. 24.1. I'm not sure. I mean, it's 5 tenths quicker than Tsunoda, who's also won a flying lap. And a 10th quicker than Carlos Sainz. So Sainz, Leclerc's on a flying lap, but I think he might have had that issue into sector 1. Keep an eye on Tsunoda here. Keep an eye on Verstappen as well. Trying to see what's going on. Valtteri Bottas does a 1.27.0. Isn't quite going to cut it. What's Tsunoda doing? Is that fresh come in? 1.26.4. But Verstappen is the driver to watch right now. Although Leclerc with a good sector 2, but he sort of ballsed up sector 1. But let's see what Verstappen did. Do you have any updates on Twitter? The Twitter just blew up yesterday. Like, we got hundreds of thousands of views. It's crazy. But I'm yet to sort of really encourage people to follow the Twitch account. 24.9 from Verstappen, so we're in the 24s now. And Tsunoda must have had an issue there. Didn't really get that out of the bag. Leclerc, let's see what he can do, even with that poor sector 1 for Leclerc. Don't know if that's just coming as a 130.2. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me unless he completely bailed out. Maybe he completely bailed out of that last sector. Meanwhile, Hamilton was only able to go P11 there. But Verstappen looking supreme as well. A lot of support for Verstappen in the chat. Going P1. Provisional P1 and FP3. Advert at the moment for a spot the ball competition where you can win a car. Now, I can't give away a car. I don't quite have that level of resource. But I am going to be giving away a free copy of F1 Manager 23 after qualifying. Or maybe before qualifying. I'm going to do a post. It'll just be the usual like this post and comment or something. And then we'll do a giveaway. Someone will win a free copy of F1 Manager 23. Partnered with one of their sponsors or something. Davina says qualifying is going to be awesome. More rain ahead. Someone is going to bin it. My money is on Leclerc, Perez and Albon. Okay, we will see. We will see. Lando Norris, almost said Chuck Norris there. Lando Norris is up to 126.3. So Lando looking good. There goes Charles Leclerc with a 124.8. Manages to hook it up that time with the fastest sector 2. So nice lap there from Charles Leclerc with a 124. Definitely intermediate conditions right now. Who else is going to stake a claim for it? Are we going to see anyone go onto dry tyres in this qualifying session? Surely not by the looks of things, but frankly, you just never know. In Formula 1, you just never know. So we'll keep an eye on it. That 124.8, Ferrari are looking good in the session. Ferrari look better in the wet than Mercedes are looking, to be honest. Chris says, my money is on Tsunoda doing a total of 1,080 degrees of rotation during quali. Verstappen's really not happy with the downshifts again. Remember, he wasn't happy in FP1 about his downshifts. Oh my word. Oh, almost a crash. Almost a crash. I'll let you know what's happening here. Alex Albon thought he was going to overtake a Ferrari. Has to go to the overtake a Ferrari and start his lap, and Carlos Sainz turned in. I have to be honest. I think it's a bit of a tricky one there from Alex Albon. I'm not sure he should have really driven up the inside there. Sergio Perez goes off the track as well with the big lockup. Is that at turn 1? Oh, massive lockup for Sergio Perez. And I'm on board with Verstappen here going through the Wall of Champions, who is absolutely fine because it's actually alive on board as he sets a 1:24.4, the fastest lap of the session. Alex Albon is not having a great time with Carlos Sainz right now. That is what's going on. But Verstappen is on it, so I'm not sure Alex Albon should have really gone for that gap and then complained about it, to be honest. Although I guess if he's on a flying lap, then Carlos Sainz should be getting out of the way. So it's a different one to call. I think I put wet weather tyres on here by mistake. Bear with me a second. So Esteban Ocon goes off round the corner where his car broke down yesterday, goes across the grass. No, it's actually the first chicane. It's a big off there from Esteban Ocon. I think we're very close to seeing someone bin it, by the way. Welcome, Sunny. Thank you so much for your beautiful work. Sunny from Brazil. Is it sunny in Brazil? That's what we want to know. Are we going to get daily race video streams anytime soon? We did stream daily races 2 days ago. I just need to make an adjustment to my wheel. I need to bring it down a little bit so I can be a bit more in a formal position. My wheel's it's not actually on at the moment, so I would struggle. I would struggle to be competitive right now. 32 minutes to go, by the way. It's tea time for Hamilton. Oh, Hamilton is trying to max out on track, but really not getting any good lap times in there. Piastri goes into the pit, or he had a bit of bother as well. So we're in the 24s. We are, for me, nowhere close to dry conditions yet. Maybe we'll see someone go a little bit insane. Maybe Fernando Alonso will get a bit bored of the intermediates and say, I want to be on those soft tyres. But I think you would end up doing a lot of aquaplaning, not clearing the water, is my suspicion. Trying to have a look here from helicopter shot whether there is actually a dry line forming. Yo, whoa, big off. Right, Ferrari's off, no front wing on it. Ferrari's had a big incident. Is it our friend Carlos? He's obviously hit the barrier. Whoa, the whole front, it is Carlos. The whole front nose plate, the whole nose has come off the Ferrari. He's not happy about it. Did he have a moment and just sort of tag the wall? The whole thing has come off. It actually looks like it's sort of fallen off, which is a bit weird. But there is some impact on the Tech Pro. Sorry guys, I crashed, is the message from Carlos. I was saying surely someone's going to crash soon. And Carlos Sainz has been the man to be brave enough to do it for us. Thank you so much to Carlos. Yeah, very unusual picture there, seeing a Formula 1 car with no front nose on the intermediate tyres. Very unusual shot. That will be the shot that you'll see in the newspapers, if there were newspapers in between now and qualifying. What have you done with the bird? The bird's still here. Don't worry. I'll let you know when it comes back. Is it here? I think I'm just out talking the bird. Also, the rear wing from Carlos Sainz has been damaged as well, so they're going to struggle. Red flag conditions, by the way. Red flag. They're going to struggle to fix that for qualifying. They're going to skip their lunch break over in Canada. Albon might have taken him out. Can you imagine? It's not a race weekend without some Ferrari drama. Yes, agreed. By the way, great opportunity here as we're halfway through the session. Let us know where in the world are you watching from. We had some interesting responses yesterday. We had Barbados. We had Kenya in the house. Let us know where in the world you're watching this stream for, as I'm going to explain to you what happened to Carlos Sainz. He goes over the start-finish line, turns right for the little kink into turn 1. Oh, loses the back end and hits the wall with the front. And then sort of as he hits it with the back as well, and it gets spat out. So, did he get on the white line? Yes, he did. He got on that white line. The painted white line just means that tyres will spin up on the outside. We've all been there. Well, if you're a racing driver, we've all been there. Get on that white line in the wet is not the way to do it. You know it immediately because you hear the wheel spin up. You're like, oh dear. because you're normally running out of track immediately because you're going into a cornering phase, and then you come around, so disaster. Ferrari are not happy. Pressure for Carlos Sainz, maybe. Probably a bit of frustration for Carlos. Mark's watching from an undisclosed location, but you have just subscribed. Snowland can't afford to eat lunch anymore in Canada. Expensive in Canada right now. The lucky thing for Ferrari is that it is a red flag, and they're very close to the pit lane. So they may be able to... I don't know if any suspension's broken on the car. They're taking it behind. That will annoy Ferrari. Ferrari will want them just to go across the pit lane here and roll it back. But in fact, that car might now be out of action for all of FP3. We saw with Esteban Ocon when he binned it, they did not recover that car. So Ferrari will be mightily annoyed with that. That car could have possibly been rolled across the track in red flag conditions and rolled down the pit lane to Ferrari where they could begin work on it. What's probably going to happen is it's going to stay there in the infield of the track until free practice is over. It's going to give them less time to work on it. No P-team. Come on, chat. We've got 167 people watching. We only got Mark. We only got Mark letting us know where he's watching from. We can do better, chat. We can do better. Let's try it again. As we're under red flag conditions, let us know where in the world you're watching this F1 stream from. It's always quite interesting to see which drivers have the most support, which countries have the biggest F1 fans. Biggest in a sense of enthusiasm, not necessarily in size. Kireth has just done Sissy. Fatimi's watching from Iran. That's our first Iranian viewer in the stream. Dimitri is watching from Greece. George from UK. Mark is still in an undisclosed location. Are you okay, Mark? Have they taken you? ACPW still in the UK. Rob is from County Durham, England. Snowlines in the Rocky Mountains in Canada. So very good representation here. They're trying to fix the Tech Pro barrier now by just kicking it. So literally just kicking the Tech Pro. Be like, yeah, that'll do. It's alright. Crack on now. Obviously would have been some debris on the track. I would anticipate that we will get underway very, very, very quickly. Farhan from Pakistan, Marcia from Brazil. Good to see you both. Just seeing what happened with Carlos Sainz again, but I think it's a trademark on the white line. Yes, on the white line. Turns in, back and comes round. Ends up hitting the barrier with the front and with the rear. Looks like front suspension on the left side might be damaged. And the nose just ended up staying in the Tech Pro barrier. So, yeah, Carlos Sainz managed to strip his that's the quickest removal of a front wing I've ever seen, I think, on a F1 car. Colin's still from Kenya. Very nice. And Sonny's from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Awesome. Marcia Anthony from Brazil. Pat Callis Kiwi watching from Munich. Very nice. Very well represented in this stream. ZX from the Philippines. Carlos Sainz looking at the damage he's caused. And yeah, it's not ideal. Not ideal. But hopefully for Ferrari there won't be too much damage there to the actual car. Replace the rear wing. Replace the front nose. I think Carlos has taken a lift in the safety car to the Ferrari garage. All the world's pressure there, and he's going to walk straight in and getting some pats on the shoulder from mechanics, but they're going to be working hard. Pretty clearly a white line issue, I think, that time. Kofi's watching from Sierra Leone. Keep them coming in, everyone. It's always very interesting to see. Remember, we've only got 25 minutes together before we're going to end this stream and get ready for qualifying. So there we go, the first casualty of the wet weather in Montreal this weekend, really in the wet weather casualty, is Carlos Sainz, and very unnecessary because he was in P2 in FP3. So clearly had the pace, but now it's been thrown away. What are the Mercedes up to though? Mercedes look to be struggling. And also the Aston Martins didn't get a lap time out. When is Quali? Quali is at 9 PM and we'll be streaming from, I think, 8:30. So from 8:30 we'll be getting ready for qualifying, keeping an eye on the radar. Harry's watching from St. Martin. Very nice. Can anyone beat St. Martin in the chat? Sure, I don't think anyone can beat St. Martin. Doesn't get much better than that. There's a new Indiana Jones movie coming out. If anyone's interested in that. Anyone hasn't seen any others. Great to see. By the way, in F1, in the F1 23 game, I think they use our logo. Like, they have a K logo that's like our logo. What? They're leaning on our reputation in the sim racing space. 1 hour 30, I think it's 2 hours 30. I think it's 2 hours 30. Mark's watching from Suriname. Snowline's been to St. Martin a lot. Carl's watching from sunny Hull. Got sunny Brazil and sunny Hull. Is the stream smooth for everyone, by the way? Everything going smoothly on the stream? Let us know. Hopefully there's not a lot of stutter. Obviously got a lot of stuff going on. Now it looks to be on the radar that cars are leaving the pit lane. So maybe we are underway on green flag conditions. That could be it. Obviously that's what we've come here to see, is racing. But Sky are more keen on showing us an advert for some cider. I wouldn't say no to some cold cider, to be honest, right now. There you go, see the cars at the front sitting at that time. So Carlos Sainz and that Ferrari, that is not going to be recovered. They're going to have to wait till the end of the session, and then they will have 2 hours or so to fix that car in time for qualifying, and hopefully manage to get through Q3, Q2, Q1, Q2 and Q3. VNEX saying hamster wheel incoming. VNEX a massive fan of Lewis Hamilton. I think one of the biggest Lewis Hamilton fans we have in the chat, if I remember correctly. Still, now there's some advert for some golf. Literally could not care less about golf. Not for me, thank you very much. So difficult for me to give some live updates here, unless you're interested in golf. Alion's face when he saw Sainz's car. Yeah, someone was not happy in the Ferrari garage. Not happy at all. Let's see if any... It's going to be all intermediate tyres now, by the way. Pure intermediate. So we'll see if anyone is going to go sub 1 minute 24. Will we see anyone just sort of risk it on soft tyres before the end of the session, just to kind of see what happens? I would suspect not, but you don't know. Anything is possible. Snar's watching people golf right now. Okay, so we've got some golf fans in the chat. Flacco was asking about the bird. The bird is back, I believe. It's probably gone out for some lunch. On board now with Lewis Hamilton going into the same corner where Carlos Sainz had his crash, and yes, basically just goes straight on. So not a spin, and has to take his hand off the wheel to get maximum lock. My word. So very understeery conditions even on the intermediates. Lewis Hamilton going straight on at turn 1. Probably strictly it's turn 2, but I'll call it turn 1. And has to go around that new barrier they've placed there. I like the fact there's a barrier there. Can't just go straight on, have to go around it. Verstappen, I think, is on a lap here, but doesn't look to be super quick from what I can see. Lance Stroll also on the move, and it is intermediates now for the whole field. Part, it appears, from Pierre Gasly. Now Piastri is getting some radio saying we expect heavier rain in 10 minutes time. So we might see what happens when the track gets wetter again. So we might see the lap times come down, and then people struggle to keep on track on the intermediates. Keep an eye on that for you, everyone. Am I 23? I'm actually 24. 24 years of age. What's going on in the times? People sort of having to warm up again. People just going around before, sort of doing race simulation times. Might be... It's always the case that scrubbed inters seem to be better than just fresh inters as well. So Don't know if anyone's going on to fresh inters now to have another scrubbed set. George, when I woke up this morning, there was a bird outside making the same noise, possibly a blackbird, and I thought I was dreaming about your stream last night. Here we go, everyone. So that's my stomach at the end. Did you hear that as well? Stoffel van Doorn's here. I spoke with him in Berlin at Formula E. He is the reigning Formula E world champion. And I'll be interviewing him in Rome in a couple of weeks' time. So if you've got any questions you want me to ask Stoffel van Doorn, let me know in the Discord. Comment under the Formula E videos. Good to chat with Stoffel again. Very quick driver, ex-McLaren driver in Formula 1. Welcome, Galacty. Good to see you. Welcome, Neon Sphere. New logo for Neon Sphere. Davina, Gasly needs a good race. We'll see Gasly with a big lock-up here at the hairpin. He is now on the intermediate tyres. So everyone is now on the inters. No one... Oh, Verstappen, as I said, has gone a purple sector 2. So will we see someone go sub 1 minute 24? We'll find out very quickly. As Verstappen goes over almost 124.1 from Max Verstappen. McLaren have predicted rain coming before the end of the session. So are we going to go into 22, something like that? We will see. 22s would be 10 seconds off what we saw in the dry yesterday. But I don't think we're anywhere near still dry conditions. Just so much spray around. It looks to be scrubbed inters. There are basically 4 categories of tyres in Formula 1 in reality. You've got dries, wets. You've got dries, scrubbed inters, and wets. The scrubbed inter is its own tyre. Yeah, Verstappen absolutely on fire there. Looks to be pretty good through sector 2 again. So maybe Verstappen's just winding it up here, looking to set some super quick times. Is it going to be another quick sector 2? Yes, it is. It's a purple sector 2 from Max Verstappen. They won't be wanting any incidents there. No white lines, no into the barriers, just sort of gradually increasing the pace. Glad to see the CCTV issues have been fixed, by the way, in Montreal. Not sure how competitive Max's first sector was relative to his previous one, but yes, he does. 23. Max Verstappen 123.7. So he is now getting very close to, well, I don't overstate it. He's now breached, I think, the 10-second barrier to the drive time. Whether that's quick enough for dry tyres, we will see. Does seem to be quite a bit dry by the hairpin, I have to say. Alex Albon's been noted with a good lap by ACP. Yes, indeed. 125.3 is it for Alex Albon. Carlos Sainz is still P2. But unfortunately, he won't be taking any further part in FP3. That's as fast as he can go. He is done. On board here with Charles Leclerc, who's really having to muscle the car around. Looks like it's a bit of a handful, actually, that Ferrari. Maybe the Red Bull was just magnificently poised. Could be the case. Is that Max Verstappen going around again, setting another potentially? Have a look at this time that Max Verstappen might be setting here. This could be something obscene. He's already a second up on Carlos Sainz in sector 1 and sector 2, which is absolutely insane. You love to see it. Keep an eye on the Max Verstappen time. Keep an eye on the chat. 123 has been called by Chris P. I think this could be faster from Max Verstappen. 123.1. Wow. So we are almost in the 122s, everyone. Carlos Sainz must be thinking, what have I done? I do like Carlos with his hair growing out, by the way. I think it's a nice Ferrari look. I rate that. Is Max Verstappen going to go back-to-back for the triple fastest lap? We will see. Lando 125.1, but I have to say Verstappen at the moment is in a class of his own. We might be witnessing something very special here. Hamilton saying the grip is very poor, but Max Verstappen is just a man on the move. He is 1.5 seconds quicker than Carlos Sainz in P2, and by the way, he is 2.5 seconds quicker than Charles Leclerc in P3. Is Max just a different gravy right now? Could be the case. That is obscene, frankly. Looks like he might be slowing it down now, but just dropping 2 very quick laps in very quick succession there. 15 minutes to go, everyone. Will we see someone bin it? I need to actually... Bear with me here. Use this opportunity to smash that like button. 200 people watching, 48 likes. We can do better than that, chat. We're better than that as a community. Let me just restart this. So we have it in the background. It's the car again, guys. It's Hamilton. As we see, I'm on board with George Russell here. Going into the second chicane. Oh, whoa. Has to cut it. Has a really big moment. So some drivers might be doing practice quali laps or simulated quali sessions right now, trying to up that pace. There we go.
Copy, radio check.
It looks like Verstappen's still in a class of his own. And Carlos Sainz, what do you feel right now if you're Carlos Sainz, where you are P2 in FP3, but you bin the card? I love how, say, community. What's up with Mercedes? Top Dog testing. I think Mercedes struggling in the wet weather. It could just be that whatever they have to do with their setup to run in the wet, even the changes they have to make to run the intermediate tyre, might be really screwing something over for them. Remember, this is the first wet weather we will have seen in a while. There was wet weather in Barcelona, but didn't really affect too much, did it, in the scheme of things? Sainz hanging his head in misery. Thanks, Clackdy. Appreciate it, my friend. Did Leclerc have a time deleted? It's possible. I didn't see it come up. But Leclerc also in the 123. So Leclerc has decided to fight back a little bit. But have a look for Max Verstappen here. Fastest sector 2. A decent sector 1. Oh, it goes slightly faster than Max Verstappen. 23.1 for Max. Alonso only able to go 1.5 seconds clear. Are we going to see the sort of generational performance here from Max Verstappen this weekend if it's a wet race? I'm talking about lapping the field sort of stuff. Anyone think it's possible? Because Sergio Perez is well down in P17. Did anyone see that? Sorry to hear that, John Boss. Hope it's all well with you and the girlfriend there. Wishing you all the best from the stream. Carl says, is it raining? Yes, it is. Well, actually, I'm not sure it's raining, but it is very wet out on track on intermediates. Hamilton saying, I'm coming in, mate. I'm just wasting time. Wow, Hamilton toys thrown out of the pram, maybe. Hamilton saying, I'm coming in. I'm just wasting time. That's not something you would see from Hamilton back in the day, maybe. And it is raining heavily here. It is raining heavily in the pit lane. Can we get some hands out? Christian Horner might be getting the hand out. Christian Horner takes a look. Is he getting the hand out? Is he getting the hand out? Oh, it's cut away on the camera. Chat, get some hands out. I think Christian Horner was getting the hand out because it is raining. Get your pink hands out in the chat, please. That's how we roll on this stream. Christian Horner, Weather Systems Incorporated, confirming that it is raining in the pit lane. Always get a very good reading in the pit lane from Christian Horner with the old school technique there. He held the hand out. It's confirmed. Christian Horner, you need to get your hands out in the chat now for the Christian Horner. He's like a shaman. Yes. Max Verstappen still out on track, absolutely pounding the laps. He doesn't matter. He doesn't care whether it's clear visors as well, by the way, for the drivers. So if you have a racing helmet, clear visors for the wet weather. Oh, hand out! Another hand out! This is on AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri got the hand out. Confirmed rain from AlphaTauri. That's the AlphaTauri weather radar system, pit lane local system. That's just the Red Bull way. That's how they do it at Red Bull. The shame is Neon Sphere. Welcome to Ultra Legend, my friend. Can we get some claps out for Neon Sphere, by the way? Joining as an Ultra Legend, just going straight in at Ultra. Can we get some claps out in chat, please? That is how we roll. I'm gonna clap it up here for Neon Sphere. Thank you so much. Need to get those alerts running in this stream. People are not happy on track, by the way, the drivers. But there we go. Neon Sphere with the membership. Absolutely huge. Look at the support in chat. We love to see it. Madness. That's how we roll in this community, everyone. Rocking and rolling with the badge. Looks good on you, sir. The green looks good. British Racing Green, maybe. By the way, there is a Alfa Romeo with a broken wing mirror. How did the Alfa Romeo break its wing mirror there? Valtteri Bottas, where have you been? That your wing mirror is hanging off by a thread. This I'm interested to see. Valtteri's going to come in like, did you have a crash anyway? Is that no? No? But your wing mirror is hanging. No, don't. That's weird. Must have fallen off. I didn't. No, not me. So something going on there with Valtteri Bottas. Look, the clap's still coming in. Love to see it. George saying Mercedes changed the suspension at the last upgrade to bit on tyres, but makes warming them harder because of it. Yeah, it could be that they're struggling to get the tyres up to temps. Could be a groundhog. Valtteri's got those eyes. Oh, we've got a replay here. Valtteri Bottas. Oh, he's got his hand out and he's pulled it off. Valtteri, why are you pulling off your wing mirror? He's driving with no hands down the straight, I believe. Pulling his wing mirror off. Valtteri, did you... Valtteri, this is James. Did you pull your wing mirror off down the straight? No, I didn't. Nah, I wasn't... Nah, that's... Why would I do that? We've got some replay footage, Valtteri. It looks... I'm seeing it right. It looks like you pulled off your wing mirror down the... No. Unusual scenes down at Alfa Romeo. That's all I can say. The track is getting wetter now. So with 8 minutes to go, the question is, are we going to see anyone go onto wet weather tyres? But this does not look good for Mercedes. I think Mercedes are in trouble here. Nick De Vries is fast as Perez. Yes, good shout. Neil needs to see more green. Yes. Lovely smattering of green in the chat there. He thinks it's a road car adjusting it manually. Oh, it's that. You just forget, don't you? Davina says Perez is a good driver. He's quite beatable by the other cars. Verstappen on another planet. I mean, the leaderboard here says it all. We can't even see Perez this time because it's not high enough to merit that real estate where you can see it. He's hidden by the track map. Vlatka, that sounds like pure frustration to me. Maybe. VNex says, who needs wing mirrors? Well, Valtteri Bottas doesn't. Just decided to tear it off randomly in a sort of provoked act of violence on this car there. A lot of cars in the pit lanes here. They might be thinking whether to go out on... By the way, I'm looking at the track dominance, and it looks like Charles Leclerc on the track dominance is faster down the straights than Max Verstappen. So Verstappen is faster in every corner, but Leclerc is faster down the straights. So that might be a big philosophical difference between the cars there. John Boss, bit of a bumpy track. Yeah, it looks like it was Charles Leclerc. He's bouncing around. By the way, when you're driving in the car, your neck does, and your eyes are able to stabilise it. But your neck can be quite sore afterwards. First rule of Italian driving, what's behind me doesn't matter. That's the Alfa Romeo without wing mirrors there. So who is out on track here? It is a Ferrari. I think Charles Leclerc is the only driver on track right now. I'll try and let you know what tyres he's on. Is he on the inters? Is he on the wets? I'm in the helicopter, so it looks like he's on inters, if I'm seeing it correctly. A little bit difficult to make out, to be honest. And he goes straight into the pits. So with a few minutes to go, he's straight in the hand to do something here. Bear with me. Bear with me a second. Nice. Professional. Oh, it's big rain in the pit lane. I think at this rate, qualifying is going to be wet. You do not want to miss qualifying, and we're going to be streaming it live on this channel. You know by now this is the best place to hang out and follow everything that's going on with the Formula 1. But I think it's going to be a wet weather start, a wet tyre start for qualifying. Maybe finishing on intermediates, that's how I'm calling it. John Boss has been there 2 times CF1. VNex says Ferrari looks like they're working a low suspension height. Could be the case, for sure. So in that session, basically, we see Max Verstappen be absolutely supreme. Domination by Max Verstappen. And then Leclerc was looking good. Sainz was looking good until he binned it. So will they be able to get that car back? It looks like they might be putting some wet weather tyres on Yuki Tsunoda's car, who we saw spin twice but not hit the wall. And not a great session for Sergio Perez, and not a great session for either of the Mercedes, really. And also Alpine, big difference between Ocon and Gasly there. Welcome, Lee Connor, good to see you. Yes, we'll be back for qualifying as well, so you don't want to miss that. Maybe Ferrari can finally have a solid show. Well, it looks like here Ferrari, look, let's give Charles Leclerc some praise. He's been able to get within 2/10 of Max Verstappen. So, you know, Charles Leclerc looking decent. Looks like Fernando Alonso might be getting out of the car. Fernando Alonso's free practice is done. And, yeah, Charles Leclerc might have the bit between his teeth here. Is he going to be the person that is able to really put it close to Max Verstappen? Because although Fernando Alonso is in P3, he is basically 1.5 seconds off Max Verstappen. So, very difficult. Galacti's washing the hands. Hands, face, space. I don't know if Leclerc wanted to go into the pit, so we just locked up massively and ended up going in. Jury's out on that one. It might have just been a massive lockup, which would be interesting. Only 3 minutes to go, and the rain is now hammering it down. This is going to be. There's going to be some controversy later, by the way, because I'm not sure they're going to even want to start quality in these conditions. But we're sat here around the world, all over the world, and frankly, we don't mind the wet conditions. Bring it on, we say. Filthy5 says Leclerc and Ferrari great over one round, not sure in the full race. And at this rate, anything can happen though. There was a storm that came in yesterday, and it's stormy rain right now. I think, by the way, we're going to get to the end of this practice session without anyone else coming out on track. I'd be surprised if anyone comes out on track, because they were all on the intermediate tyres, and now it's basically wet weather conditions. So now maybe it's just too risky to do it before qualifying. There's no point. Davina James, it was hanging off. He held onto it, stop it. Ah, roll reversal. He was actually pulling it back on. Deary me, we called that the wrong way around, didn't we? Lando Norris is out of the car. Will he fancy himself in wet conditions? Possibly. Charles Leclerc is out of the car. Surely he's going to be someone that is raring to go in the wets. He's putting his hands in a bin bag here. I'm not sure why. Saw the bin bag out yesterday for Lance Stroll. Is he putting his watch on? Maybe he's putting his sponsored watch on. Rolex don't crack under pressure. Right. Qualifying is going to be very interesting. The track looks to be waterlogged. The track is waterlogged. I'll tell you what, we're going to start the quali stream earlier, and we'll get some live weather radar up, because there's going to be some drama here. We might get a live tweeting system as well on the go. Maybe I'll just stay here and I'll try and work out our system, chat. We've had 2,000 views in the stream, 163 people watching, as the clock is going to tick over to end FP3. By the way, I'll just put the link in here. Make sure that you don't miss our qualifying stream. It's going to go live earlier than planned, because I think there's going to be some drama with them even starting qualifying, red flagging, stuff like that. Q1 is commencing in 2.5 hours time, and we will be streaming probably in about 1.5 hours. So I will have some dinner, and I will try and get a live radar up here for us. How about that? But it's good, we haven't been taken down for ages. It's quite unusual. Hit the like for your boy. Thank you so much, Alex Turner. They're still recovering that Ferrari, by the way. So that Ferrari will now go back to the garage, and I'll have to work on that. I'll be absolutely soaked. It's going to continue. Mark's going to walk the dog. Yeah, let us know what you're going to do in the meantime. Now it says your ending text. Welcome, Philip. What's up? Nice streams, good work. Yeah, we're looking forward here to Canada, which is going to be... Look, honestly, since we started doing these full-time streams, we streamed Imola, which got cancelled. We streamed Canada, obviously, and they cancelled the rest of FP1. What happened in Barcelona? Barcelona was just a damn good stream for us, to be honest. It was just a good time. And Monaco was a bit intense, wasn't it? Kate's going to see us after dinner, yes. Snowline's getting ready for my trial next week. Wow. Get a suit ready or something. Dinner in Discord. Peace is just winking. So that is classification confirmed. Max Verstappen in P1. And Carlos Sainz is getting classified in P5. So if... I don't want to throw out a big conspiracy here. I don't want to have to do this, but... if I don't do it, someone else will do it. If qualifying gets rained off, okay, Carlos Sainz was in second place, I believe, when he binned it, and he would start the race in 5th. Did Carlos Sainz deliberately bin it because he saw the weather sort of report, Christian Horner's weather report? Just putting it out there, guarantees himself a top 5 start. Alex has had steak and chips. Peter's have a nice meal. Oh, not your trial, your client's trial. Okay. Good, I guess. Yes, we will, by the way, we're going to go live at 8 PM UK time. I'm going to bring that stream forward. By the way, on the new stream, we've got 2 likes. Let's bump up that stream. So what I'm going to do right now, just going to do this as live, because I'm here with you. Qualifying stream is going to start in less than 1.5 hours. We've got less than 1.5 hours till qualifying. I'm going to put the stream link in here again. If you can go across when I end this, make sure you hit that like button to get it off to a good start. And then we're going to start qualifying over there. So we'll take a break right now, get ourselves ready. I will get the radar up and everything. Or we could keep going. Or we could just keep going. Hang on. We could just rename this qualifying. What do we do? Chat, what do we do? Anyone been at a Wall of Champions? I think people are more like to bin it actually onto the way into Wall of Champions. That's where you have the understeer moment. What do we do, chat? No worries, Neon Sphere. Good to have you in chat. New member as well. Coming straight in at Ultra Legend. Absolutely huge. Chris says keep going. But will I have more energy if I eat some food that isn't McDonald's? Because I did go to the supermarket today, so I got lots of stuff today. I got cereal, love a bit of cereal. Fatimi from Iran says keep going. John Boss. Fernando Alonso's biggest fan, saying keep going. I don't know. No, we're gonna stop and we'll come back. Everyone's saying keep going. Apart from myself, we'll stop, come back. Let's be sensible about it. I'll tell you why. Because I will get a radar. I will find a radar and I'll put a weather radar up on the screen. So we'll have radar. So I'm going to end this stream, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. 73 likes, 100 people watching, 2,000 views. It should automatically take you to the next stream, by the way, where you can drop your like. So I'll see you in less than 1.5 hours time. Thank you so much for joining.